Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me for this week's weekly Choose Your Own Adventure crystal reading. I'm Erin Lee, and you can find the rest of my readings on my website, VancouverIslandPsychic.com. So I actually tried to do this reading last week, but ran into some technical difficulties, so our fingers are crossed for this week that I'm able to complete it and get it up online so you can see it. So the idea for this Choose Your Own Adventure crystal reading actually came from a reading that I did a couple of weeks ago where I was given 4 crystal choices, and after I had done the reading, the message came up that you could choose a crystal for each different area in your life. So this week is going to be focused on that. So I invite you to take a moment and feel free to pause the video as well if you'd like. I'd like you to take a moment and think about any areas in your life that you might be dealing with, or you might have some questions, or there's some uncertainty, or you'd like some clarity. And just think about what those areas of your life may be. And if you would like, I mean, we have 6 crystal options here. You could even choose a variety of different questions. So for example, if you're having difficulty in your career, then that might be one of the areas of your life you choose a crystal for. So your crystal choices this week are Amethyst, Rose Quartz, Citrine, Clear Quartz, Jet, and Ruby. So again, that's Amethyst, Rose Quartz, Citrine, Clear Quartz, Jet, and Ruby. So take a moment to decide which crystal is going to represent which question or which area in your life you have questions about. And while you're doing that, I'm going to start shuffling the cards. I'll move these guys out of the way. So our first crystal is Amethyst. Oops. And apparently that's the card for Amethyst. So if you chose Amethyst, the message that's coming up is that it's really important to, you've been asking for help, and it's really important that you accept that help. So often when we ask for help, we're reticent to receive help around that situation, whether that's in our day-to-day dealings, or whether that's being open to accepting help from heaven and guidance from angels in heaven. So it's really, really important that with this situation, with this question, that you say, this is something that is beyond what I'm able to do on my own, and I'm asking for help, and I'm open to receiving help in whatever way that comes. Now, one of the things that's also coming up for this card is that it's possible that part of the reason you've been struggling with this issue is because the situation isn't right as you're asking for the help in a certain way. So for example, the message that's coming up is, say you're asking for, you're having issues financially, and so you're asking to be receiving more money through a current job or through a current position. It could be that the job and the position that you're in isn't right, isn't appropriate, but you're continuing to ask for, well, I want a raise in this job, but that isn't actually the underlying issue. And so being open to a new job or finances coming to you in a different way from what you're expecting is really important. So with this card, it's important that you're asking for help and then also accepting the help that comes. All right, for our Rose Quartz, the message that's coming up is self-employment. So if this is particularly powerful if you've been asking about finances or career, what they're saying is that this situation is it's important to be striking out on your own and to be doing your own thing, to not be following the herd. This is very much a card around leadership, around taking initiative and really pushing forward. So if you are asking about career and finances and self-employment in particular, then this card says it's really important that you're continuing to push forward, to be moving forward, and to be looking at doing something that is more on your own. If this is a question about another area of your life that where self-employment doesn't really make sense. I'm going back again to the message around leadership and really kind of branching out and stepping out on your own. It's important that you aren't following the herd and that you're expecting really miraculous things to appear. And as I say that, I'm really kind of drawn to these 5 dots. I'm not exactly sure what those are in the image, but that it feels like this is something that might take a little while in order for there to be resolution in the situation, and they're showing me the potential for 5 to 6 weeks within this. So to know that the actions that you're taking are very positive and important ones to be taking, but that it might not manifest for you for another 5 to 6 weeks where you're starting to see a really noticeable change. So to keep moving forward, to keep pushing forward, that's important. For our people who chose Citrine, your message is father healing. Now this is a really interesting card to have come up. The foundation of what's happening here is that it's really, this situation is really related to potentially issues that you had with your father, but also in dealing with authority and dealing with respect within a situation, and that there's a lot of healing that's happening around this. So this situation may not pertain specifically to a relationship that you had with your father, but that there is underlying family issues that are involved with this, and it's really important that you are surrendering or releasing and doing healing around that. Also, it's really important that you're seeing the situation with compassion as well. One of the other things is that with Citrine, it's also a crystal that really has a lot to do with releasing and letting go, and it's constantly clearing. So it also feels like you might potentially be in a position at this time where you are doing a lot of healing and you're doing a lot of releasing and clearing work, and it's happening at a very quick and rapid level. So depending on how important this situation is within your life and within what's happening, expect things to be clearing fairly quickly. And it also feels like it's important not to be attaching to what you're emotionally going through and clearing and processing. So just make sure that you are allowing your emotions to be fluid. And so rather than being in a place where I'm not feeling well and I'm stuck in that place of not feeling well, allow it to be a fluid continuum where you can go from not feeling well into, hey, you know, I'm feeling pretty good, and that there's potentially a bit of back and forth with what you're going to be experiencing. So just really taking it easy with yourself, and compassion is really important as well. All right, looking at, for the people who chose clear quartz, make a wish. This is a magical moment. Make a wish and enjoy its manifestation. So the message that's coming up for you if you've chosen crystal for any clear quartz for any of your questions is that it's important to keep your intentions high. So make a wish. Think outside of the box. Think outside of what you think could be possible, and just allow that to come. It's really beautiful to me that this card is also directly below accept heaven's help, because it feels like that really resonates with the clear quartz message as well. So be open to new situations appearing, and really, you know, just make a wish, and be also really clear in that wish as well, rather than being kind of wishy-washy, like, oh, could you please help me with, or could you please, or be really clear and straightforward, and send your prayer and your affirmation up with, please help me with this. This is what I need help with, and being really direct. And then just releasing and letting go. It's important. It's really, really important that you allow space and room for your wish to come true. For the people who chose Jet, ready, set, go. So now is the perfect moment to dive in and embrace your heart's desire. So, you know, the message that's coming up here is that you've laid the groundwork, you've done the foundation, that's already, and now it's time to really start taking off. And one of the things that's coming up is that it's possible that people who have chosen this card for this particular area in their life is that there's a question around whether or not you're prepared, and the message that's coming through is that yes, you've done all of the preparation that you need, and now it's time to really to take off and to stop procrastinating. It feels like there's a certain amount of procrastination within this situation as well. One of the other things that's coming up is that jet is an incredibly grounding stone, and that to make sure that as you're taking steps forward, movement forward, that you're really making sure that you're coming back in and making sure that you're grounded as you're moving forward in this situation. So prepare yourself, organize yourself, and then go. Take off. Now is the time. And for the people who chose Ruby, your card is wait. And so one of the things that's coming up with this card is that it's really important. The message itself says, don't rush into action right now. Bide your time for better results. So it really feels like your energy is better served in other areas of your life for the time being. It also feels like all of the information within this situation is not readily apparent to you right now, and that other information is going to come forward that will make a difference in the choices and the decisions that you're making. So now isn't the time to be pushing forward, to just be going gung-ho. Wait. Work a bit more on preparation, but it really feels like it's time to be putting energy into other areas of your life rather than focusing and concentrating on this right now. It also feels like there are other areas of your life that are paying up, that are needing attention, and that your attention is really centered in whatever it is that you've asked this question about, and it's really time to be putting into other areas rather than to be concentrating on this one. So yeah, relax with that. Do more preparation if you need to, but really the focus feels like it needs to be directed into other things at the moment. I'd like to thank you so much for joining me. I'm Erin Lee. You can find the rest of my readings on my website, VancouverIslandPsychic.com. You know, this is the first real time that I've done the Choose Your Own Adventure crystal reading, and I'd love to hear from you how it's worked out for you. So please either post in the comments below, or you know, feel free to send me a message through my website. I'd really love to hear from you. Anyways, I hope you have a fabulous week, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next week.